Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is December 16, 2023, and it's reported that Barcelona could miss out on the new format of the Club World Cup. Also, the club has started negotiations to sign Claudio El Diablito Echeverri. And finally, Deco has attempted one last time to see if there's a possibility of signing Gabriel Moscardo. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. I'm currently out of town, so I'm not doing daily videos. I do apologize for that. But I did bring my camera and laptop with me, so I will be making these short live streams to update you on Barcelona's news as often as I can. Today, I'll probably do two live streams. This is the first one, so one out of two. I'll probably do a second one later today because there is a lot of news to update you on. Now, I haven't said all of that. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the bet us. Both links are down below in the description. Now, let's dive right in the news because the Barcelona match is set to begin in 9 minutes against Valencia, which will be another test for Xavi Hernandez, where he has had two really important losses. The first one against Girona, which saw Barcelona drop all the way to fourth on La Liga table. And of course, the loss against Royal Antwerp in the Champions League, where even though it didn't affect our chances to qualify to the round of 16, it did, of course, lose the club 2.8 million euros. Now, speaking about this match against Valencia, there's been a lot of talks in the news about Laporta being upset with Xavi, wanting to sack Xavi or giving him an ultimatum about the match against Valencia. I'm here to clarify to you that none of that is true. Yes, Joan Laporta was very upset about after the loss against Girona. He was very upset after the loss against Royal Antwerp. He expressed his anger to Xavi Hernandez. He expressed his anger about the situation. But nonetheless, Joan Laporta has not changed his mind about Xavi Hernandez. He still believes Xavi is the right coach for Barcelona. He has endorsed Xavi. He has let him know that he believes he can revert the situation. So no, there is no ultimatum. If Barcelona lose the match against Valencia, Joan Laporta is not going to fire Xavi, despite what they're saying in the media. And despite there being a lot of directors within Barcelona who are now asking for Xavi Hernandez to be fired. So to conclude, none of those reports are truth. Laporta still believes that Xavi can revert the situation, and the result against Valencia today in a few minutes will not affect his opinion either. Now, let's dive right into another segment of news, which is the Club World Cup, because as you already know, the Club World Cup is a competition where the winner from each continental competition kind of play in a yearly tournament. So the winners from the Champions League, the winners from the Libertadores, etc. But now there's going to be a new format for the Club World Cup that is set to begin in 2025. It's going to be very similar to the Nations World Cup or the regular World Cup, where 32 clubs from all over the world will participate in a 29-day competition, and it will be every 4 years instead of a yearly thing. Again, the first edition will be in 2025. It will be played in the U.S., so this is going to be a way to test the waters for the host nations to the World Cup. I don't know if you guys recall, but we used to have the Confederations Cup, which would be played a summer before the World Cup to see if the host nation of the upcoming World Cup is ready to host it or not. So this is going to replace that. It's going to replace the Confederations Cup. It's going to be a Club World Cup. 32 clubs from all over the world would face off in a monthly tournament the summer before the World Cup in the host nation of the upcoming World Cup. Now, the way this Club World Cup would work is going to be based on rankings of the club, of clubs, the worldly rankings of the clubs. And so far, we know that Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Chelsea will for sure participate in the 2025 edition of the Clubs World Cup in the USA because they are recent winners of the Champions League. And the new club rankings should be released in the upcoming few days. And Barcelona are anticipating that they will drop 2 points in the club's world rankings, with Atletico de Madrid taking the place of Barcelona. And if that does happen, that means Barcelona would miss the Club World Cup in 2025. So if that is confirmed, and Barcelona are currently trying to confirm that with FIFA, if that does happen, that means Barcelona have to get to work. They need to have a better season than Atletico de Madrid this season in the Champions League in order to retain their spot in the Club World Cup in 2025. Now, you might say, why does Barcelona care about participating in the Club World Cup in the 2025? Well, it's all about money. It's going to be a one-month tournament with a lot of people watching it from all over the world, a lot of sponsors, a lot of revenue. So, of course, we need this. Barcelona will need this because in order to make money, especially now that the club are going through difficult financial times. Now, on to the big news, the breaking news that Barcelona are currently negotiating to sign Claudio El Diablito Echeverri. That's his nickname, El Diablito, or in Spanish it means the little devil. If you don't know who Claudio Echeverri is, he's a 17-year-old attacking midfielder who currently plays for River Plate. He's kind of considered the new promise or the new gem of Argentinian football. He's been likened a lot to Lionel Messi, given the way that he plays. He has become very prominent, especially now after the Under-17 World Cup in Indonesia that was played from November to December, where he absolutely shined. In fact, he single-handedly knocked out Messinho's Brazil, when he scored a hat trick in the quarterfinals of the Under-17 World Cup, single-handedly knocking out Brazil out of that competition. And now it's reported that Barcelona are negotiating with River Plate to sign Claudio El Diablito Echeverri. Now, there's a lot of interest in Echeverri from European clubs, including PSG and Chelsea, who are both willing to pay his release clause, which is worth 25 million euros. But it's reported that it's only Barcelona who are currently negotiating with River Plate for this player. And it's reported that Barcelona are looking to pay more than the release clause. So the release clause is 25 million euros, and Barcelona are looking to pay 30 million euros to sign Claudio Echeverri. And this would be a payment made. It would be a payment plan. So it would be be made in several payments, but nonetheless, it would be more than the release clause. And this is how Barcelona hope to beat the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea to sign Claudio Echeverri, or the next Lionel Messi, as many people are calling him in the Argentinian press. Now, it's reported that Echeverri is a big fan of Messi, of course, as an Argentinian. Messi is his idol, and as such, he's a fan of Barcelona. So there is a chance that Echeverri would want to choose Barcelona over other clubs. But we also have River Plate, who are trying to renegotiate his contract. Claudio Echeverri renewed his contract with River Plate at the beginning of this year until December of 2025. And River Plate are currently trying to pressure the player to renew his contract with the Argentinian club. But it is reported that his agents and his family prefer that the player goes to Europe instead of renewing his club with River Plate. So there is a chance that Barcelona could sign him. Again, Barcelona are trying to offer more than the release clause. Echeverri is reportedly a Barcelona fan. His family want him to go to Europe instead of renewing his contract with River Plate, especially since it's reported that his family are very, very poor, and he would prefer that Claudio Echeverri go to Europe where he could earn more money. So good news on that front, and hopefully we can sign this very, very talented and very, very promising player coming out of Argentina. Now, another player coming out of South America was, of course, Gabriel Moscardo, the pivot that Barcelona have been tracking for quite some time, who Deco hopes to sign as a reinforcement for the pivot position. As I told you in previous video, this seemed like it wasn't going to happen because Corinthians want 50 million euros for Gabriel Moscardo, which, of course, Barcelona cannot afford. It seemed like he was going to go to PSG. PSG were negotiating with Corinthians. In fact, Gabriel Moscardo had traveled to Paris in order to visit the facilities. But so far, the deal has not closed between Corinthians and PSG. And since it hasn't closed yet, despite looking like it's going to happen, it's reported that Deco has reached out once again to the entourage of Gabriel Moscardo to see if there's any chance of Barcelona still being able to sign the player. Now, of course, this is kind of a last shot, a last attempt. I don't think it's going to happen. PSG are willing to pay the 50 million euros to Corinthians, which Barcelona cannot afford. So I don't think it's going to happen. But that's the news that Deco is still trying to see if there's any wiggle room. Now, two more bits of news because the match against Valencia will begin shortly. So let's go dive right into Lenglet. As you all know, Clement Lenglet is currently on loan with Aston Villa. He has not played a single minute in the Premier League. He's not getting much playing time. So Barcelona are looking to recall him in the winter in order to loan him out to another club. And the news is that AC Milan are very interested in taking Lenglet on loan because two of their center backs just got injured. So it's reported that Barcelona are currently negotiating with the Italian team, and they're hoping to recall Lenglet in the winter, then loan them out to AC Milan, and including an obligation or option to buy worth 10 million euros to see if Lenglet wants to sign with them. Now, last bit of news, and then I'll let you go watch the match, but it's the news about Deco and Frankie de Jong. We know that Frankie de Jong did not participate in the match against Royal Antwerp because he had a fever. There was a lot of reports saying that supposedly Deco called him angry, thinking that he was lying. I'm here to tell you none of those reports are true. When Frankie de Jong called the club and informed him that he was sick, Deco called to make sure he was okay, to tell him to follow up with the doctor so he could get better. So all those reports that somehow Deco did not believe Frankie and that Frankie was really upset about that, there's absolutely no truth to that. The relationship between Frankie and Deco are really good. And in fact, Frankie's entourage were reporting that they were very happy with Deco's attitude when he called the player, that he was, very trusting, that he believed them, and that he was genuinely worried about the player's health. Anyways, that's all the news for today. I'll let you go so you can watch the match against Valencia. There will be another short live stream later today to give you more updates about Barcelona. Again, I'm out of town, so I do have my camera and laptop. I'm bringing you these live streams whenever I can, but I can't make daily videos, unfortunately. But I keep trying to keep you updated as much as possible. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and subscriptions. I will see you later today, and hopefully Barcelona can snatch these 3 very important points against Valencia. Visca Barça.